As promised, I'm back with another video on the honorable mentions. These are weapons that didn't make the top 10 list, but in my opinion are, right up there, very close, and they're among my favorites. And I'm going to start things off with the free ones. So these can either be earned in battle passes, challenges, missions, and we'll get into some details on those as we go through the video here. So we'll start it off with the Modern Warfare version. If you own Modern Warfare, you can do the missions, and these are the multiplayer missions here. And as you can see, there's a lot of objectives. If you complete all these objectives, you get rewards as you do them, but the final reward is the weapon. So very worthwhile doing if you have Modern Warfare. And then you can do the co-op missions too, where you play against AI bots with your human teammates, so you can earn some nice rewards that way too. And then over in Black Ops, you can go to the Prestige shop. And I encourage everybody to try this. If you have Prestige keys, just check and see if you do. Go into the shop, and all these items cost 2 or 3 keys. And I had a couple in there I really liked. So spoiler alert, this one might be in the video, but this is another place you should check and see if there's any free weapons in there you like. Some people don't even know about it, so definitely check into it, and you never know. There might be something you like in there. And that brings us to contraband contracts and in-game rewards like Easter eggs. These are added from time to time. Hopefully they do another one soon. There hasn't been one for Caldera yet. And then the remember the bunker challenges from Verdansk? That was another Easter egg challenge. Among others, there was a lot of other little events like that. So hopefully they do something like that in Caldera. It's been quite a while, it seems, since they did one. First up is the Pellington Ignition. This was the reward for completing the 80s Action Hero event in Cold War. Beautiful weapon. Unfortunately, when you change some of the attachments to meta attachments, you lose that nice look to it, like a lot of these weapons on the list. So it's going to be number 1 on the list. Really, it's my favorite among the free ones, and really cool little animation there with the cartridge eject. Next up is the Gray Matter Tundra, and you get this for completing the Outbreak challenges from Season 2 of Cold War. And this one does retain its look. You get that nice wrap suppressor that comes with it, so that is a meta attachment. And it is one of the rare ones where if you start changing around attachments, for the most part, it's going to still look amazing like the original blueprint. Hopefully we'll see this one return in future bundles or free events. That would be pretty cool. Next up is the first one from the Prestige shop from Black Ops Cold War. Season 5, it was released, and it cost 2 keys, which is not bad. So check that out for sure. Beautiful netting and like detail into this weapon. And the only thing is when you change the barrel to the combat recon barrel, which is the only one to take really, you will lose some of the netting on the barrel, but otherwise it does retain its look pretty well. Next up on the list is from Season 3 Battle Pass, the DMR Factory Stainless. Beautiful like graphite and metallic look to it. I just love the look of this weapon. It's going to be unfortunate though, once you start stacking meta attachments on it, it's going to change the look dramatically. So especially with the barrel and the suppressor. So we're going to lose a little bit of that nice look to it, but just overall, love this weapon, and it's pretty high on this list. And next up is going to be a weapon that I use personally quite a bit, especially in Warzone, and this is the Kar 98, the Sand Scorpion from the Factory Prove missions in Modern Warfare. And it does have a nice suppressor, but unfortunately it's not the monolithic. Otherwise, the attachments are pretty good. Once you start swapping them out, besides the suppressor, you keep the look of it. It does apply camos, sort of okay. I guess you want to keep with the digital theme here to match the scope, so you can kind of try and match them up there if you can. And that's going to lead us into our first LMG on the list, and that is from Modern Warfare, the Firebrand, the Bruin. This one is done by completing random challenges. You'll see it in contraband contracts sometimes. I believe it was in a lot of other contracts as well, and challenges. And if you build it out, you retain the look of it fairly well. So this is another one that I enjoy using quite a bit in Warzone. And if you want to keep with this orange theme, there's another SMG on this list that pairs very nicely with it. And I've never actually tried it with this scope on it before. I usually run a VLK, just something pretty basic. But it does look pretty good actually. And that's going to lead us right into the next LMG from Modern Warfare, the Deep Blue M91 from the Hands Off missions, the multiplayer missions. This one is super clean. I love how the monolithic suppressor matches the color on the weapon. I wish I'd do this more often. And I think it looks amazing. I mean, it's pretty simple, but I like the clean look. And this one's a lot of fun in Warzone as well. Especially on Rebirth, I've been having a lot of fun with this weapon. And next we have an assault rifle, a good one, the Krig from Cold War. You got this for pre-ordering Vanguard. And look at the camo on this, just amazing metallic camo. Really, really love this. And the beauty about this weapon is like it came with every attachment you would want, like every meta attachment. And that is super rare these days, so you can just pick this up and play in-game as is right away. And look, it's even got the nice metallic paint on the scope. I just love that. And that's going to lead us into our next assault rifle from Cold War. This is the EM2 Geomatic, and this was a battle pass unlock from Season 5. And as you can see, it has a pretty cool animation on it. And it's not going to change a whole lot by putting meta attachments on it, so this one will be pretty good just to go. I usually change the scope on it though. I'm not a big fan of this default one. As you'll see when we do the weapon inspect, I usually just like the axial 3x. But here's what it looks like by default. And that's going to lead us into our first weapon from Vanguard, Season 1, Battle Pass. It's called the Ex-Libris, the AS-44. It's got like a marble blue look to it. I really find that appealing. And the attachments are kind of like a chrome nickel touch to them. Not really sure what you call it, but yeah, definitely cool looking weapon. And we're going to follow that up with another assault rifle from Vanguard. This one was released in Season 6, the Cold War Battle Pass, which was a little unusual. But it's got a nice metallic paint job to it, and you get to keep the look of the suppressor, which is really big in my mind. So this is a very competitive weapon too. You're going to lose the magazine look, unfortunately, so I usually just keep the standard one on here. And we're going to follow that up with another assault rifle, this time an animated one. It's the Volk from Season 1 Battle Pass, and you can see that the animation is kind of just on the magazine on the back part of the weapon. Unfortunately, it doesn't extend into the barrel or the muzzle, which would be really cool. But overall, good looking weapon, and wanted to add a few more Vanguard ones to this list. And then we're going to throw it back to Modern Warfare again, going back to the AMAX, the Enigma. This was a Easter egg, and I believe it was a contraband one too, but beautiful black and gold finish. And as you can see, once we get into the meta attachments again, you're going to lose. You get to keep the barrel, which is good, but when you go to change your magazine, which you want to do for sure, you're going to lose that nice gold mag, so that's unfortunate. And here's hoping they bring this one back, because this thing is an absolute beauty. And I would like to see more people get their hands on this weapon and add it to their collections. And as I alluded to earlier, here's the second orange weapon in the list. This is the Bison from Modern Warfare. So you get this from the Spec Op missions. Playing at Bogart is the name of the mission. And it's a cool weapon. It's not the most competitive anymore, but it can hold its own. It can hold its own. And this is a weapon that retains its look, really. I usually don't take the 84 round mag anyways. And as you'll see here in a second, it has one of the coolest reload animations in the game, in my opinion. And we're going to follow that up with another SMG, this time from Black Ops Cold War, the MP5 Damascus Supreme. This will cost you 2 keys in the Prestige shop. And once you remove that god-awful sight on it, it's a nice looking weapon. So that's usually the first thing I do. And you can see here in the second animation here, oh, it looks a lot better without the sight on it. So nice clean half iron on it, and you get the black and gold. Beautiful weapon. And I'll do an inspect here without the sight on it. There we go. How clean is that? And that's going to bring us to our first pistol on the list. This is a Diamatti, the Cold War, from Season 5 Battle Pass. Beautiful gold look and finish to it. You can change it up a little bit here and there. I was lucky enough to have the suppressor from the Regal Shiv, which looks perfect on it, so that's good to go. And this one's comes as a Kimbo, but I usually just run them single. That's going to bring us to our first and only shotgun on the list, the 725 Muskeg Double Barrel. This is achieved through the multiplayer missions, the Provocative Assault in Modern Warfare. And we'll look at some of the attachments on it here. The full choke doesn't really change the look of it. Unfortunately, if you want to go with the sawed-off barrel, yeah, it's going to look a bit different. And the same is going to go for the stock. You almost always want to run the sawed-off stock because of the stats. And it's going to change it quite a bit. But here's a look at it. Beautiful gold and black. And that brings us to our last weapon, the MP7 Piercer from the boot camp missions in Modern Warfare. And this is another weapon I like to remove the sights on. It has a nice clean iron sight. And the iron sight is the nice thin one that's different from the default MP7, so that's nice. And this is a free one, so unlike the one in my last video, you get this one for free through the Modern Warfare missions. So I'll show it here with the irons. And that's going to do it, guys. That's the complete list of the honorable mentions that were free to me. And keep in mind that I never did any of the battle passes from Modern Warfare, so I'm sure there's a lot of other ones that could be on this list that I didn't have a chance to earn, unfortunately. And if there's any that you guys have, favorites that you might want to mention, just throw it in the comments down below. I'd love to see what I'm missing out on. And unfortunately, once you miss something in a battle pass, it doesn't always come back around. And one thing I'd like to see them do more of is incorporate some of these older weapons that people have missed and put them in future events, Easter eggs, missions, things like that. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, please leave a thumbs up. It would help the channel a lot, and appreciate the support.